What's up, guys? Volt here, bringing you a brand new... Oh. Hello? Were you coming after me? I'm trying to do your video justice. I don't want to... I mean, I'm... Ah! Okay. Okay, I get it. You're very mad. This is not good, guys. I'm trying to. Nothing more creepy than seeing Christine. Well, the Phantom car, I guess, but the Christine car sitting right behind you. Oh god, this is gonna be a lot longer of a video than I thought. Do I got time to get into the car? Is the question. I might. Then again, I might not. We'll give it a shot. There we go. Get in. A little strange. It goes back to normal. Well, I'm gonna leave that in there. See, they didn't do their car right. I mean, it should have a white roof. I mean, everything else looks good. Okay, well, let's retry that. I was going for a very creepy vibe, and that was, oh my god, extremely creepy. Okay, let's go fix up the car real quick, because the Phantom car literally did a number on this thing. I'm literally just gonna keep that in there. So I was trying to go for a creepy vibe, but I guess you couldn't get more creepy than that, right? Anyways, what's up, guys? Volt here, bringing you a brand new car remake. In today's remake, I'm bringing you the 1958 Plymouth Fury from the 1983 film Christine. It's also based on a book. You know, they do a lot of films from books, and I thought this would be a great rendition or a great build. And you were seeing this on Halloween, so happy Halloween, everyone. Hope everyone is having a fun, safe, scary, frightful Halloween. I am enjoying the GTA update a lot, especially as you can see with the Phantom car. Honestly, that was one of the very first times the Phantom car, actually that is the very first time the Phantom car has actually come up on me, and it was during a video, of all things. Like, what? I have found the clown. I have not found the driver, the other sack slasher, which is up north, or the other one yet, which I don't remember exactly which one that one is. But yeah, I haven't found any other than the clown. But this is my rendition and take on the 1958 Plymouth Fury for the car Christine, and I think it turned out beautifully. Now, the only bad part is it is a soft top. As you can see here, it's a soft top. So the movie car actually was a hardtop. Also, the front part of the window was completely tinted out black. There's a few reasons for that, and they did that in the movie. One was probably so you couldn't see the stunt driver because, the car was driving itself, but, it actually had to have a stunt driver in it. Because back then, I don't think they had the radio technology to have an automatic car or a remote-controlled car as like they did in Fast Furious for Suki's build, the jump scene of that. The other reason is, so you can't really tell who is driving. Either it is, I think it's Arnie, or it is Christine driving the car herself, since it is a possessed car. And this was, I thought, would be a great build for Halloween, and I thought I would upload this on Halloween, so I thought I would do this, and I think it turned out great. And I also want to give a shout out to one person that has made this car a long time ago, and she wanted me to make it a long time ago as well, but I'm just now getting to it, so I apologize. But Brittany, you know who you are. I mean, BLH Sweetheart, Babe Sweetheart, Glitch Goddess. I don't really know what else to call her by. I just call her Brittany because that's how I know her by. I hope you enjoy the build, Brittany, and let's just get right into it. So you can find these cars on the street, and you are more than welcome to use the standard version. But the sad thing is, if you do the standard version, you can't do the interior upgrades, as you can see in here, which looks really, really cool. I mean, the only downside to having the customized version is, again, the soft top. It's convertible, but it does still look really nice. I still go with the Benny's version. I mean, you guys can go with the normal version. You can let me know what one you guys rather do, whether it be the Benny's version or just, save money and just stick with the normal version, just not have an interior. I like having as much detail as possible, so even though the roof is not solid, I still went with the Benny's version. So again, you guys can actually find these cars on the street. use the normal version if you really want to. I like adding as much detail as possible to my builds, so I went with the Benny's version. It's a little bit more expensive, but again, it's another car I'm not going to get rid of. I wish I could kind of get the flames though. That'd be kind of cool. We're gonna just get right into it. So again, you can find them on the street. If you don't want to find them on the street and you plan on selling it, or if you want to spend a little bit of money, go to the internet, travel and transport website, go to the Benny's Original Motorworks website, go to stock, go down and find yourself the Declasse Toreador, and it's going to cost you $30,000 to buy. Now, it's a very cheap car, very easy. As you see, this is the normal version, and this is what it can turn into. I still think it is the closest build for Christine. Even though there's no Plymouth Fury in the game, it still looks the closest to, actual car Christine. And I think Rockstar thinks the same because they did the whole Phantom car, which it is Christine, it's just their own take on it. So there you go. So like I said, if you're going to upgrade it at Benny's, I would highly recommend buying it, even though it is $30,000. I mean, that's pretty cheap. The upgrade fee is going to cost you $375,000. So I'm going to put that price right here for you guys, so you can know the upgrade fee. Now, if it is discounted, you can get a discounted price. And the reason I say to buy it from Benny's is because if you decide to sell it later, you'll get more money back in the long run. I would definitely buy the car from Benny's, then take it to Benny's and upgrade it. That way, if you decide to sell it later on down the road, you don't lose that much money in the long run. So without further ado, let's just get into the build. I'm going to try to make this video as short as possible because I need to have this uploaded by Sunday, and I got a lot of editing to do. As we pull in, the Declasse Toreador Custom is in the Sports Classic category. Should be, pretty reminiscent to the Christine car. It is an old style car. That makes sense why it would be in that class. As you can see, I have my clown outfit on. I've been terrorizing people with a baseball bat and going off the radar. It's a lot of fun. It's not terrible. Also, they did add a peyote plant back in too, so you can actually go around, become animals. I became a deer, and then I got blown up by a tank, which kind of sucked. And then I also became a mountain lion, or a cougar, and I was actually running after people. I sat outside the casino and attacked people. That was quite a fun too. And then someone came over and killed me, and then I killed him back, and he complained, "Why did you kill me?" I'm like, "You killed my lion." And then it just went from me going to a very easy mental state to a very high mental state. Let's just put it that. So as I go over all my builds, I go over the overall look, the visual appearance, and the basic design of the car and how it's portrayed in the movie, game, or anywhere else in general itself. Anything I don't go over is completely up to you. I just put a few staples in. If you want to recreate my build, or take things away from my build and create your own, then you're more than welcome to. So just follow along with the video, and without further ado, let's just get into the build. So to start things off, we're going to go to bumpers. We're going to go to the front bumper, and you want to put on the chrome bars bumper. You want to have those horizontal the bars on the bumper going straight across. Again, you'll be seeing pictures on screen, and it fits more close to the build than anything. Just having it stock like this, it just doesn't look right. It has, I would say, kind of like teeth almost, for an example, but you want those horizontal lines, so you want the chrome bars bumper. From there, we move on to the rear bumpers. You just want to keep that stock. Again, it didn't have a big wheel in the back. It's just nice and flat for the most part, so I would just keep it stock. Save yourself money on that. From there, we move on to the chassis. You want to go to the arc covers, and you just want to keep that none. Again, it didn't have any covers over the rear wheel, and it didn't have any special designs on by the rear either, so just keep that nice and simple. None. I should probably go over this side so you guys can actually see what I mean, because the picture is going to be down in the left hand corner as always. From there, move on to the aerials. You don't want to put one on. Now, it did have one out here on the front. It had a nice big long antenna on the front here, but unfortunately in GTA Online we can't get that, so I would just say go with none. From there, move on to the trim. You just want to keep that none. You don't want to make a pattern or add a design to the actual trim, as you can see here. It wants to be a nice aluminum, I would say chrome, steel color to it. And that's the kind of color you want. So I'd definitely keep it nice and plain. So add none, or just keep it none, I should say. From there, we move on to the tank. Now, you can add a different tank if you really wanted to. Me personally, I just kept it none. I mean, you can't really see it, and we can't really see what was in the movie, I don't think. If anything, I would probably go with maybe a chrome tank. But again, if you don't want to spend any money, you don't worry about it too much, you don't really care about it too much, I would just go with none. If I find out any more information on this, I will definitely update it down in the top pinned comment, so do make sure you check out for that. From there, we move on to the engine. You want to go to the engine block, and you want to go with the V8 chrome riv covers. Now, This is my own take on this. I don't really know exactly what kind of covers they actually had for, the engine block. So I just wanted to kind of match the air filters, and the air filters I know were ribbed. So I would definitely just go personally with the V8 ribbed chrome covers. After that, we move on to the air filters itself. You want to go with the twin air filter. It had a twin air filter on it, and in a scene I'll show you, I'll take pictures and put it up. It looks exactly like the air filters that are on the actual engine in the movie and the car and everything. After that, move on to the exhaust. You want to go with the twin exhaust. It didn't have no side exhaust or anything. It didn't have any like fancy exhaust like this up front or on the side, or even like a quad exhaust. It had a lot longer of exhaust, but unfortunately we can't get that. The closest thing I say that you can go for, and I definitely do go for my build, is the twin exhaust. From there, move on to the fenders. You just want to put on the fender ornaments. It had those nice chrome like fender ornaments on the front of the fenders, so I would definitely add those in, make it more iconic to the build. And plus, it's not fairly too much either. For one, parts that are stock, you can actually save up that money and spend it on parts that are actually needed. So not spending any money on the rear bumper, for example, saving that money up, I can actually spend it on the fenders, on the fender ornaments. It's nice to kind of like having some stock stuff so you can actually use that money that you're going to use on that part onto a different part, if that makes any sense. From there, move on to the hood. I just kept the stock hood. I didn't see any like, I don't know, like a classic hood. I didn't see any like intakes or, liveries underneath or anything like that. So I would just stick with the stock hood. From there, move on to the hydraulics. Now, I didn't add any personally, but if I was going to add one, I would either add a 2x2 or a V pattern, the quad pumps right here, these two options. The main reason I didn't add it is because it's a lot of money to upgrade for the hydraulics. It's not cheap, and a lot of people just want the car to drive around, as the car, or to have the collection for their car. I would say this mainly because I would say the trunk would be red, but I don't really know what the trunk color was, so I didn't look too much into that. As of right now, I have nothing on there, but if I was to be a betting man, I would say that it would probably be a red interior of the trunk, or like a red trunk, inside the trunk. So I would definitely add one of these two if you want to keep the nostalgia and like the more accurate build. Otherwise, don't spend your money if you don't need to, because you don't really need hydraulics for this car. It's not really a car that was doing hydraulics in the movie. So I would just keep it standard. But again, if you want to keep it more accurate, I would go with either the quad pumps 2x2 or the quad pumps V pattern. From there, move on to the interior. Now, this is what I came up for in my interior. You guys can come up with your own. But for the trim, you want to go to trim design. I went with the leather striped. It was more of a striped like interior, and it just looked really cool, and it just kept a nice plain like look to it, I would say, for the most part. Plus the seats were, I would say, look like this. They don't look like anything else like these, like laid back and everything, or the standard, the stock ones. That's another reason why I didn't go for the stock version of this. So I would definitely go with the leather striped. From there, move on to the trim color. I went with an ice white. Now, the trim color changes not only the roof inside, but also the roof outside too. And the roof for the Christine car was white. So the best thing I could come up for was an ice white. Also, it does sadly change the interior color. I would love for the stripes to be red, just to match the entire, the rest of the entire car and everything. But unfortunately, that is not the case, because you can't do that. Also, the steering wheel is supposed to be white too, but there's not any option to change the steering wheel color. Steering wheel color, I think, also takes the color of the primary color. So it's a kind of pick and choose type thing. If you want the actual like real life stuff that was in the car, you're not going to get it, but it is, I would say the build is about 80% as good as the real thing. So again, what I went for the trim color was an ice white. I still think it looks great, and it makes that roof nice and white, which you definitely want. From there, we move on to the accent color. I wanted the Grace Red mainly because it matches the best for the custom crew color I came up for the Christine color. I think that looks really great. Another good option you could go for is possibly a Blaze Red, but me personally, I think it's a little bit too bright. Either like a Grace Red or maybe a Garnet Red would be really good, but you can pick and choose what you want to do with that. From there, move on to the ornaments. I didn't have any, so I didn't see any in the movie either, so I definitely wouldn't add any, but it does look like we have some new ones, which are pretty cool. From there, move on to the dash. I went with the stock dash. I didn't see any reason to like, add like a different kind of design dash to it, so I just stuck with the stock dash. From there, move on to the dials. I went with the classic 30s negative. I just kind of get like an old style feeling from them. Another one that I was also kind of thinking about was the Sun God negative, but I feel like the classic 30s negative is a little bit better. From there, we move on to the steering wheels. I went with the Rockabilly one, mainly because it has that kind of like chrome bottom ring to it. I mean, if the wheel was actually white, like the red part was actually white, it would be perfect. but it isn't. It looks really good. I think it looks really nice for the actual build, and it looks really close to the one that was actually in the movie. From there, we move on to the column shifter levers. I didn't add one. I didn't see one in the movie, so I didn't feel like adding one and spending money. From there, we move on to the plaques. I didn't add one of those either. Again, it's something you don't really need for the movie car, so I wouldn't add anything like that. From there, I move on to the light color. I went with the lime green. Now, the main reason I went for this was because the lights inside the car was like an ominous, like, you know, like a creepy, like green. It was like a, I don't know, possessed car. It had like green lights. And I thought a lime green really fit that really well. Really cool. It looks really great at night. You know, it kind of gives that Christine like feel to it. And yeah, it's just something that I think works great. Again, that's my own take on it. You guys can build it however you wish interior, but that is my design for interior anyways. So from there, we move on to the lights. You want to go to headlights, and you just want to keep them stock. Now, I've been told that the lights were red. I've been told that the lights were blue. I've been told that the white lights were like, I don't know, like a xenon color or something, you know. But in most of the video clips I've seen and most of the pictures I've seen and everything, like, they have a lot of, I would say, poster art that shows them like having blue lights and things like that. But a lot of the video clips from the actual movie, it just shows the lights being, you know, a basic, like a yellowish, like a old, like whitish color, like the old style car light color, like this. Now, if anything, I would say if you want to change, since they increased the actual wattage of the lights to make them a lot brighter, making the bulbs a lot more, which I found out, you can actually change the lights to a white if you take them to the arena. You can do that. Me personally, I'm just going to keep a stock. It's fine. I don't really see a big difference in adding the white lights. And I think this kind of fits the build a little bit better in my personal opinion. From there, move on to the neon kits. Neon layout's going to be none because I didn't see any neon on the car and I don't think it had any. If anything, maybe like a green, like a lime green. That'd be kind of cool. But I didn't see any, so don't waste your money or, you know, actually adding any parts that are needed. From there, move on to the livery. You just want to keep it with none. You just want that nice, clean look to it. And it looks great. It makes the Christine car, well, pretty much the Christine car. So there you go. From there, move on to the plates. You want to go to the plate holder and you want to put on none because I didn't see any like special plate design on there. I mean, you could add one if you wanted to, but me personally, I'm just going to stick with none. From there, move on to the vanity plate. I didn't see a point in changing this. It just had the nice license plate on the front. I mean, I personally wouldn't change it because it adds different kind of brands to it that are not in the movie, and I would just keep the normal plate on the front anyways. And after that, we move on to the license plate. So the plate in the movie, I believe, was a yellow plate with black lettering. Unfortunately, we can't get that, but we can get a kind of like inverse or, you know, like an alternative design to it. We have a black plate with a yellow lettering with the yellow and black. The custom plate you want to come up for that was actually on the car was CQB241. Again, that is CQB241. Now, I know the Phantom car in the game doesn't have this plate. It has something of its own design, and that is the plate that's actually on the car in the movie, and I think in real life too. Someone actually got the real life plate for their remake or, you know, their actual car that they made. So that's pretty cool too. There's not many of these cars floating around anymore in real life, so it's kind of a amazing sight to have seen one of these. And they're over, you know, they're quite a bit of money because they're exact replicas or even the cars from the movie just restored, you know. So there you go. From there, move on to the roof. Same respray for last. You just want to keep that nice stock roof. Again, you don't want to like make it a different kind of texture or, you know, leopard print or something. No, it's a nice clean white roof. Can't say much more than that. It was also a solid roof, but unfortunately when you upgrade it to a Benny's, it makes it a soft top. If you want to upgrade it, you get a soft top, but you get a nice interior that you can design. Or if you don't want to upgrade it, you get a hard top, but you can't touch the interior at all. So take your pick on which one you want to do. Me, I like Benny's, so there you go. After that, we move on to the trunk. You just want to add none. I highly doubt it had like a speaker box or anything in there. And if you do the upgrade of the hydraulics, it'll pretty much change the interior of the back to all red. So you don't have to worry about adding these like shelves in or anything that are all red. So there you go. From there, we move on to the turbo. Now, I personally added a turbo. I don't think the car had a turbo in, you know, layman's terms, but I feel like adding a turbo for like a possessed type car, because it, you know, had like insane speed and like a V8 and all that. I feel like it was just fit a lot better adding a turbo. But again, your choice if you want or not. I mean, it is pretty slow in game if you're gonna drive around, kind of scare people, but that's your choice. Me personally, I'm keeping the turbo. From there, we move on to the wheels. You want to go to wheel type. You want to go down to the lowrider category. You want to go down to the chrome rims, and you want to put on the turbine rims. Now, these I think fit the best for the build. They actually have like the outer ring that's kind of exposed. The closest thing you can either come up for is either the super fin, which again, not terrible, but not great in my personal opinion because they do sink in a little bit. Or you can go with the turbine, which is going to keep it a nice, solid design all the way straight across. So take your pick on which one you want to do. Me personally, I kept with this turbine, and my rims are free because I did the heist stuff. So if you do the heist challenges, you get free rims in chrome. So it's all for the older rims. It's not for like the street or the track rims. Just letting you know that. Wheel color is going to be chrome, so you can't change that. You don't want to change that. From there, we move on to the tires. Tire design is going to actually add custom tires because you want that nice white ring around it. Again, it fitted like, it kind of matched the roof and everything. It fit the car really nicely, in my opinion. The design of the car was really great. Really simplistic, but really great, especially when you actually see the car. You pretty much know what it is. If you've seen the movie, I mean, a lot of people probably have seen the movie. It's an old movie, but just adding that white ring with those custom tires, you definitely got to do it for the build. From there, you move on to the tire enhancements. You can add bulletproof tires on if you wish. I would say probably more realistic if you don't, but again, I mean, the car rejuvenated and fixed itself up and, refixed itself. So adding bulletproof tires isn't really a waste or a bad idea. But me personally, I'm just going to stick with standard, mainly because once you upgrade to bulletproof tires, I don't think there's a way to actually remove the bulletproof tires anymore. Other than using the newer cars, you can do that, but the older cars, I don't think you can do that anymore. I'm just gonna stick with standard tires personally. And after that, we move on to the tire smoke. It's just gonna be white tire smoke, guys. From there, move on to the windows. You want to put a nice dark limo tint on. Now, unfortunately, we can't get the front window completely tinted out. That would be awesome, but we cannot, and Rockstar does not allow that. So limo is about the darkest you can get, and it's definitely the darkest you want. Unless you could do like a modded dark, which I don't think it's even possible. It might be, not sure. But yeah, limo is definitely the way you want to go. And it screams the build because the Christine car had tinted windows. All right, and I'll see you guys in 2 seconds with a rolled steel primer color. All right, and we're back. As you can see, I have my car in my primed out rolled steel. Pretty much what I always do for all my builds. That way, I tell you it's an LSC color or custom crew color. That way I don't lie to you and tell you it's an LSC color, but it's actually a custom crew color created for the build to, either use the hex code that's going to be on screen right now or the RGB down in the description below to your own crew, or ask me to change it and I'll change it, within a day or two. This time it's going to be a custom crew color I came up with, and I think it turned out great. Now there's 2 colors that I recommend using for this car. It's an ice white and this custom crew color I came up with, because a lot of information I found on the web didn't really list too much information on the car, especially the color. So I looked and looked and looked, and a lot of people came up with the same exact color combination, and it was an iceberg white for the roof, and for the primary or the main body of the car, it was a Toreador Red. So the custom color that I came up for was a Toreador Red, and this is my own custom crew color for the Toreador Red. So you want to go to the primary color, go down to crew. Again, hex code will be on screen right now. And you just want to put that on right there. So this gives it a nice kind of like vibrant-ish red, not really too dulled out in the light. And then at night, it gives it a nice dark red, which is really, really cool too. And I think this color works great. I think it turned out great. So we're just gonna put that right over top of that. After that, we move on to the accent color, which again, we went over already, was a grace red. I think it looks great. It still matches the interior and kind of like the outside as well. From there, we move on to the trim color. Again, ice white. Even though it does add the stripes inside to be white, you do want that roof to be nice and white too. And like I said, I found a reference for an iceberg white. So ice white, iceberg white. I would say it's pretty much about the same thing. I just say you want that nice white roof with that ice white. And that is it. That is how you recreate the 1958 Plymouth Fury from the movie Christine. Very creepy, very easy. Not too expensive either. It's actually fairly affordable, and it's very easy to make. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the build on Halloween. Yeah, let's just go outside. Hopefully it's, I don't know, sunny or dark. Oh, it's dark out. Nice. Now, knowing my luck, I'm going to get the Christine car to spawn on me again. As you can see in the nighttime, the car actually looks really great. It just is great looking at this car. It's just amazing. I mean, overall, I'm happy with the build. Again, it's fairly slow. That's why I added the turbo, even though the turbo doesn't do much. I think the car turned out great, especially on this Halloween, night, and it is pretty dark out. So let me know what you guys think about the build down in the comment section down below. Whether it's, good or bad critiques, doesn't matter to me. I love responding to you guys either way. I would say If I don't respond to you right away, I try to respond to you guys as fast as I can, but I would say give me about a day or two to respond back to you. So yeah, I think that's going to pretty much wrap up the video. So as always, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment down in the comment section down below for what build, whether it be a Fast and Furious car or just a movie or game car in general you want to see next. And if I'll talk to you about it. I'll let you guys know whether I can do it, can't do it. I don't want to give you guys false hope on a build that I can or can't do. So there you go. Yeah, let me know what you think about the car down below. With all that being said, I hope you guys have a great day. Have a great Halloween night or day, whenever I upload this. Be safe, have fun, don't get scared too much, and maybe you guys will see me on GTA Online on Halloween. So happy Halloween, everyone. Love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Catch you guys later. I'm out. Peace.